Brent, welcome to our store here in Magherafelt. It doesn't seem like a year since we were at your place down in New Zealand.
That's right, no. Yeah, it was a year ago we were at harvest time.
That's right.
In the summer.
Yeah. So we've got your Ned here. We're going to have a wee chat about these wines for a start. Do you want to just talk to us about the Ned and where the name came from?
Absolutely. Well, you know, coming from Marlborough, being born and raised, as a little kid growing up, there was a mountain that was to the south of where we lived, looking out over the Valley of the Vines.
Yeah.
And that was called the Ned. And it's a mountain 909 metres above sea level. That's why we have the contours on the label itself. And it's a beautiful piece of land that I used to go climbing when I was a young child, go horse riding, motorbikes. And the whole inspiration for the brand itself came from that mountain and a whole feeling of young at heart. So the wines that I've made off our property on the Waihope River is all about young at heart, fresh, vibrant and alive.
How long has this been going, the Ned?
I started this about 10 years ago, so coming through the whole wine industry, my father was involved with buying the land right back in the early 70s for Montana Wines, which was the first big commercial company down in Marlborough. As a family, we became the first contract growers in 1978. I then headed off to Australia, got a degree in winemaking, became the first Marlborough born and raised qualified winemaker. Ended up coming back and finding a beautiful piece of land that is about 250 hectares on the river. And that was, 10 years ago, planted the vines, and ever since then I've been taking the wines to the world, and that's why we're here.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a taste here, so
Absolutely.
What we're going to start with?
Going to start with the Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is the hero variety for Marlborough, and what we've done here is we've got on our property a beautiful 3 terraces that go down to the river, the Waihope River, and the idea is to make a wine that is bright, it's fresh, it's vibrant, it's really showing off what Marlborough can do well with its Sauvignon Blanc. It is the hero variety for the region, and because we've got a single vineyard, we've got the flavours and characters that come from the Waihope Valley. The idea is we make a wine that when you smell it and taste it, you get that feeling of that blue sky, the green grass, the cold water, absolute purity, seamlessness, focus. That's what we've tried to do here.
Yeah. You really do get that in the glass, yeah.
The big thing is, you've got a Sauvignon Blanc that's got lovely weight, it's got the acidity, it's got the purity. And for us, the Ned speaks volumes of that. And it's something that, as people try it around the world, they understand why I've tried to take the wine back to what made Marlborough famous in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And it's that greenness, that herbaceousness, that pure.
Beautiful. It's clean.
Flavours go on and on and on, and that's what it's all about.
Good long finish.
Yep.
All right, now the next one we're going to try is the Pinot Gris. Now this one's interesting because when we get it in the glass here, you can see there's a beautiful colour to it.
Now that colour, it's got a little subtle salmon pink colour.
Yeah.
And what I've done here is really worked hard. It's the same site as the Sauvignon Blanc, but we've given it about 12 hours skin contact.
Yeah.
And what that does, Kenny, is it just puts a little bit of that blush colour into it.
Yeah.
And it means that I can still have the purity of flavour, the purity of fruit, but you end up getting those lovely rose petal characters coming through.
Yeah.
And it's just something that when you put the two wines together, you can just see that difference. And it's just what people really, really find attractive. And I have to be honest, at home now, we sell more Pinot Grigio than Sauvignon Blanc. In a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars and cafes, wines by the glass, and a lot of it's that attractive colour, but the fact that it's got that beautiful rose petal, sort of nectarine flesh character coming through, and people just absolutely love the balance.
Beautiful. Yeah, and the colour does make it stand out from a lot of the other Pinot Grigios, which would be...
It does, and because we can do that all naturally on the vineyard, we get the beautiful ripe fruit and balance of flavours, and by just doing that little bit of skin contact, bang, we whack it into another whole dimension.
Yeah, right, and then on to... When was the rose first brought out? When did you first produce this?
So the first vintage was 2015, and that's what we've got here. And we've only obviously just done one more vintage since then, the 2016. But we've called it Pinot Rosé because it's actually 50% Pinot Noir and 50% Pinot Gris. And overnight, this has become a huge hit, again, predominantly at home, where we've got the biggest selling rosé in New Zealand. And part of that is because, again, that beautiful colour that we've tried to make sure that it's got that rosé colour that is not too deep, it's not too light. We've got, again, flavours and aromas and characters that come through that go, this is a summer wine, this is a wine that I can drink right through those hot periods, but equally, when I try it with food or when I try it as an aperitif, I could drink it all year.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
what's changing with the whole rosé program. Fresh, bright, it's got flavour coming right through, and for us, you know, rosé is a category, I'm sure you've seen it here in Northern Ireland, it's a category that's become more and more popular, and it's one of those things that, you know, we call it brosé at home because guys are drinking it, and that's not something you'd see 5 or 6 years ago, but it's just what's happening all around the world.
Yeah, very good. Excellent, lovely. And lovely label, the contrast back from black to white,
Yes,
it
just
really stands out.
that whole reversing out is something that Siobhan, our sales and marketing manager, pulled together, and that silver going through, and it's just something that pops on the shelf and in the fridge, and it's one of those things that you look at it and you just think that has to be fresh, it has to be bright, and sure enough it is.
Yeah, lovely. Excellent.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you very much.